It's Dark Matter with Midwest Ghost Hunters at Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri. Thanks for downloading another episode of our podcast. John, you want to remind everybody what they need to do before I forget?
If you are listening, please go ahead, like, comment, share, follow us, and make those comments on any platform that you are listening on.
What's our website?
mwghosthunters.com. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can just email contact@mwghosthunters.com. And we do have, by the way, I just got this morning another person that wants, let me see if they replied back, that wants an investigation of their home. She hasn't replied back yet, but she will. We'll kind of see what's going on there. It's kind of sent an urgent email about needing immediate help. So I asked for further details. We're waiting to get those. But if you want to get in touch with us, you can email contact@mwghosthunters.com. Last week, we had Debbie on the podcast. Embarrassingly enough, I couldn't remember her damn name until she got here. I mean, Willard House lady. But her name is Debbie, and so we've reestablished contact with her, and she came on the podcast last week to talk about our past investigations at our other places, which have been a long time ago. And we're going to do a new investigation at her house she's been at for the past dozen years or so. Here in Springfield. We're going to be getting that scheduled and booked coming up here pretty soon.
Isn't it fascinating that she's had activity her whole life and she's continuing to have activity, but now it's ramping up again to be that kind of an evil presence sort of activity?
Yeah, I would say the phrase cautiously optimistic regarding this investigation holds true. We don't know what the hell we're going to be walking into there. And I'm not trying to be aloof or, dramatic. We really don't know.
No, and I think that having her there, though, is a really good idea.
I do too. I guess we've never done one with her there in either place. So we'll kind of see, what that's going to hold for us too. And that's kind of the same thing we're going to do with Erica and Kat, at their investigation. Have Erica stay behind and see if that helps ramp up some of their activity a little bit. They're wanting to ramp it up. They're wanting to poke the hornet's nest a little for some reason. So I said we could do that.
I don't think that's a good idea to ever come in and try to poke the bear, so to speak. I think that you want to let the bear sleep.
She said she doesn't think she's going to be able to figure out what's going on there or to move on with it until she gets a name.
But the problem is, as Edwin Becker says, you don't really know that it's telling you the truth.
I don't know. I told her we would fulfill that and try. So we're gonna do that at Erica's place. We're gonna kind of run the same format whenever we go back to Debbie's house in Springfield and do her. I guess it would be a reinvestigation. There for a while, the Republic investigation that we did that had a 10-year spread between them, that was the longest spread between investigations we'd ever done. This is going to be the new record. I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a long-ass time since we were at their last place, and it's been even longer since we were at their place in Willard. So it will be interesting to see, number one, if we get anything on the first trip. I don't know. I mean, we may not get anything at all the first trip, or it may be all hell may break loose. Just everything we've got is better now. So hopefully we can get some. I hate to say we get some good stuff because they have to live with it, but
good evidence.
Let's be honest. That's what we're in it for.
Yeah, good evidence.
Try to find the good evidence. So hopefully we can get some at Debbie's place. Now she said she had a significant other. Mark.
Yeah. And that he was a skeptic. And, this kind of falls into the normal pattern of it. Usually one partner really believes in it and the other partner will almost mock it. And then they become believers in it, too, as this kind of goes on.
Tends to be the dude, usually, who's the skeptic. And that's fine.
But you know what, though? I mean, I can't make fun of him because I was a skeptic, too. I mean, you go back in time and when you told me that you guys were investigating this stuff, I said, so you guys are like, what, the Ghostbusters? I mean, I can't really make fun of it.
Healthy skepticism is not only reasonable. I'd think it's pretty sane.
I think so too. Yeah.
I in fact, if the people that believe everything they see or hear, you need to raise a couple eyebrows at.
That's when you get into that hamstring stuff.
Yeah, you get the woo-woos is what they call them. You ever heard of that term online? They call it the woo-woo.
Yes.
The people who that swing the pendulums and read it and
yeah. I saw this guy do this on a YouTube video. He took PVC pipes and numbered them. I don't know. They were about 3 don't know, what is that, 4 feet tall or so. They were about this big around. He took PVC pipes and numbered them and put them in this bedroom where there was the most activity. And he did kind of what we do. He just said, he gave an instruction, then he walked away. He said, if you're in here, I want you to knock over pipes number 4 and 7. And that happened. Those 2 pipes were on video. You could see them fall over. So I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. I guess we kind of do that kind of thing sometimes with like the playing cards and
cat toys.
The cat toys, yeah, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think
that's something we could probably do more of. Are things like that.
I've been looking for ideas like that. That's why I ran across this. And I thought, well, it doesn't have to be PVC pipe. It can be anything. But that's a measurable outcome. If you specify, if you came back in and they were all knocked over, it's like, well, what a draft or, one that, they're like bowling pins. I don't know. I thought that was an interesting approach that I never seen before.
It also proves the ghosts know what numbers are.
It does. They know Arabic numerals.
I got to thinking about something the other day. I was watching this Paranormal Witness, and it was...
Which one was it?
It was the one about the Ouija board where they ended up destroying the Ouija board, and then the girl made her own Ouija board and stuff like that.
Kept it under her bed.
And I got to thinking about it. What happens if you got a ghost that was a bad speller? I mean, what happens if it's a real demon, but he just can't spell worth a damn? What would happen in that scenario?
I don't know. How did she make that? I remember that episode. Did she just make draw on poster board or something?
Yeah, she drew it and then used a glass.
Because in that episode, what happened was it befriended her. Mm-hmm. It acted like another little kid, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because she had a problem with a bully at school, and so then supposedly it made the bully leave the school.
And they were like a Mexican family.
Yes, yeah.
I remember.
And then they had problems in the family, and then it said she wanted to make her dad go away, and then supposedly it took control of her sister, and her sister takes a gun and shoots at the dad or something. It was very bad deal.
That was kind of one of those situations that you're talking about where you don't know exactly who you're talking to.
Right.
And we're not here saying that every voice is a demon by any stretch, but you really don't know.
You know how much I love that.
Demons?
Yeah, just classifying these things. Everybody says we have no idea what any of this is. It's paranormal. It's above the normal.
But yes.
And yet people can say, oh, that's a demon, or no, that what you got there is a residual or a poltergeist. And we don't know anything about it. It's like,
and I will agree with you.
It's like me going into a cockpit of a plane and being like, that does this does that. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, and that's true, but I will say in the situation like with Deborah's house, the entity we dealt with on the third time around, I am going to use the demon word. Nobody else has to, but I will.
That's what I was going to say. Is the only reason why I would classify at all is because how significantly different that one was than every other one we've done.
Right, and then look at Ashley's house. I mean, we referenced this last week. Ashley's house has been everything. There was the sex ghost. There was the old man. There was this growling thing. I mean, it's a whole laundry list.
It's really just
of
wording to classify the severity of the stuff that's happening.
Right.
I mean, we come up with
I'm
fine with that.
If you want to come up with a new classification system,
that's a level 10 haunting.
Well, I mean, it could be like the Fujita scale, EF, the enhanced Fujita, EF. This could be the Dustin scale.
Right.
That's a D3.
That's exactly right.
The Eggonometer.
John's eyes lit up.
Oh, an Eggonometer.
I like that shit. Like he's pressing buttons.
I love that. This has now been born. How is it on an Eggonometer?
Yeah.
So how does the Eggonometer work? Does I
don't know. I literally just made it up. You have to give me some time to put some thought into it.
Is what we call a demon an Eggonometer 1?
You'd have to determine whether you're going to have an ascending or descending scale.
Right. I think 10 should be the most extreme.
Okay, so a 10. So it's pegging a 10 on the Eggonometer.
Right.
So the Willard House would be like an E8.
It would be kind of fun as just like a nice little experiment sometime to go through some of our biggest cases and place them on that. So where would we put them on the scale of extreme activity?
We could do that. We could do that right now.
I think the extreme, the place we were all freaked out the most was without a doubt Willard.
Now, do we base it on only our experiences? This is our scale only?
Because our experiences are the only ones we know for a fact are real.
That's what I'm saying, though. Would we consider the Willard, Debbie's house, would we consider that an E10 because it was the weirdest one?
I think that if it's this scale, on the Eggonometer scale, I think then yes. I think that's an E10 because it's been our most extreme.
But then if we run across another one.
Evidence-wise, though, it's really not an E10. from as far as evidence that we
there have
gathered.
been places that we've went that we've never even talked about publicly or
I know,
posted about
yeah.
online. They would be like a 0. They're not even on the scale. You discard them.
But what if we labeled Debbie's house an E10 and then we run across another one in 5 years and it's like, oh man, that was worse. Now do we degrade? Do we downgrade?
No, I don't think you downgraded. I think you just changed the scale to where now that's an E14.
Well, it's the same thing with tornadoes. You know, a tornado comes through, wipes out, does a bunch of damage. That's an F5.
Well, not necessarily. They have criteria for that.
They do, but if another tornado comes and it's just as it's even more damaging, it doesn't go to an F6.
There can be a 3-mile wide tornado just spin around in a field. That is considered an EF0.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
but if you get beyond an E10, it'll be up to the guy who
This
replaces
is the
me to help
dumbest
you.
shit we've ever talked about.
Oh,
It's going to get worse.
What are we talking about?
But I
We're
think
talking about the, what did you call it? The
Eggonometer.
Eggonometer, the E-scale.
And it wasn't me that came up with it was him.
So what we could do here is we could look through some of these investigations and just start putting numbers on them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird to put numbers on them when we don't even know what our own fucking criteria is.
Well, we'd have to come up with that.
This
right?
is kind of like Eggy's nog.
It's the same
It
thing.
is.
It's the same thing as when you go to a doctor and they're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious
pain
is your
scale?
pain? Yeah, it's not like exact science.
So we're
You're
not.
just-
Well, we were comparing it to the enhanced Fujita scale. That has that has requirements. In order to be an EF4,
That's
you
a
have
bad thing to
meet
compare
these
it to.
requirements.
That's a bad thing to compare to because of the criteria that they have. That's scientific. Like they actually wrote that stuff down.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, people think that we're not going to talk about weather here, but I'm comparing it to the Eggonometer.
Can't even say it.
When a tornado comes through town, people think, oh my God, look at that thing. That is a wedge tornado. That's an EF5. You don't do it based on the visual. They do this weeks later.
Yeah.
And then
so
they
wind
assign it
damage
to
and
it.
everything else.
Well, yeah, it's the amount of damage that was caused. So with this scale, though, we're just basing it entirely on our own. It's completely subjective. It's not scientific at all.
As far as the Eggonometer goes here, if you have a lot of EVPs, but we don't really consider them menacing EVPs, does it get a lower one than fewer?
That's the thing.
More menacing.
That's why you need fucking criteria.
Is the Eggonometer?
Well, that's why I'm asking the inventor of the Eggonometer here.
Is the scale just based on how frightened we were, or is it based on the amount of evidence we've got?
That's what we got to figure out.
Because those are two different things.
And there is no better place to figure that out than right here on this podcast.
I do have something I want to. I read about this the other day.
Okay, I'm sticking a pin in the Eggonometer though.
I do tutoring on the side for students, high school students, college students. I'm more comfortable with tutoring like social studies, history and stuff because that's what my degree is in. But I tutor math and I tutor science. And this particular one was a science student. And the student was in high school. And I was helping him out with his science homework. And his science homework was talking about the visible light spectrum, like electromagnetic light spectrum.
Yeah.
And his book had a statistic in it. And I looked up the statistic because I thought to myself, I'm going to mention that on our next podcast. But I didn't write it down, so I had to look it up. And it had a little, you know how sometimes under the pictures they'll have little fact blurbs?
Yeah.
And they're just kind of cool information. It's not anything too important, but it said humans only perceve. You know how much visible light like we actually perceive? How much
in like a
electromagnetic
percentage?
spectrum? Yeah. Take a guess. How much the human brain? How much can the human brain perceive in our space and time?
Is it 12?
No.
I have no idea.
Way lower.
I don't know.
0.0035%. That's the amount of that's the amount of reality we experience. So if you do the math, that means
it's not even
that
a full percent.
99.997%
Of what's happening around us,
of what's
we don't
happening
see.
around us right now, we are blind to it.
So you
I
bring this
couldn't
up.
help but
I-
make the
okay.
connection between the shit that we deal with.
Yes. So what you're thinking is
That those
the
are different
people who
paranormal
can tap
universes.
into at least 1% might be seeing something parallel that's happening that the
Or
99%
there are
of us can't see.
times, random times, when we, out of the fluke of nature, somehow perceive even a fraction of a percent more than what we normally do. And what if those random times that we just happen to perceive something are the times that you can catch like paranormal stuff?
That's a good
what if
point.
this shit's going on all the fucking time?
Well, but this also is why sometimes you'll catch things on audio recordings that you don't catch with your ears.
Right? Because they can pick up on
A wider
Sound,
range.
yeah,
a
sound
wider
frequencies that we
range.
can't hear.
We are essentially blind, stupid animals wandering around this reality that we barely even experience.
We're not very good apex predators.
No.
What like did it give examples of how much other animal how much does a dog
No,
see?
I have no idea. All it said was humans.
But the reason I ask is there a reason why pets are
More susceptible.
Maybe they can see things.
When kids have like a slightly higher percentage that goes down as they grow older?
I don't think kids do know.
It kind of goes back to when Debbie was here last week. What we were talking to her about. There's a theory that some people may be able to use different fire different neurons in the brain that allow them to see and hear things that other people can't. I didn't realize our visual perception was so low.
Right. No, it's not even, like John said, it's not even like a full percent. It's less than 1%.
I did not know that.
My original guess was going to be like 32%.
It's really kind of humbling in a way to think about, like, we are walking around and what we think of as reality is really like only like 0.5% of reality.
I'm looking it up to see how much other things can see.
I did look up that like bees and insects can see ultraviolet, so they see a little bit more. I mean, snakes can see infrared and stuff. And
Well, I think that's what I'm wondering. If they all just see different ones, not necessarily more.
that's yeah. I think that's the way it's going to go.
Now, I don't know if you ran across this in your search, but did you see any blurbs about the mantis shrimp?
Yeah, I did. I just did that. Yeah, I chose not to mention it, but I did.
This is the mantis shrimp episode. It sees the most of the electromagnetic spectrum of anything. So those motherfuckers are probably terrified.
And this is just speculation. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting.
But it would help to explain some stuff.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like a nerdy thing. It's one of those things that, like, who knows in 50 years if I get my wish, and I'll be dead probably. But if I get my wish and...
Is your wish that you'll be dead?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I'll get my wish that all this will be explained someday in real, grounded, actual science.
Yeah, that kind of area is the only way that I could ever see it truly being explained is if it's something that's happening
And I'll
around
tell
everybody.
you, if the shit that we've heard, the shit that we've caught, I'm going to use Ashley's house as an example. If that's actually going on around us all the fucking time, I am very thankful that we can only perceive 0.0.
That's why I said the mantis shrimp must be fucking terrified.
Oh yeah, it's walking around and it's just like a circus all day. Like,
It's just walking on eggshells. Speaking of eggshells, let's go back to the Eggonometer.
I was trying to get away from it. I thought we put some space between us and the Eggonometer.
If you think I'm ever going to let go of the Eggonometer, you don't know me at all.
I'm already thinking up, like a graphic for it. We'll see what we come up with. But what we're talking about, the reason we call it the Eggonometer, I say this as though it's something we've been doing for decades. The reason we called it the Eggonometer a few minutes ago is because Dustin's alias is Eggy McBiscuit.
Yes, which I would have actually preferred
his life.
that not to be public knowledge. Because for one, it's stupid.
It's too late because we even made it one of our trivia questions.
I actually had to go back.
And one person said Eggy McMuffin.
I had to go back and like be my own FBI agent and look through all my shit online and scrub it. So I've scrubbed.
Really? So people, you.
I love Egging McBiscuit. I love that.
Because if you look up Eggy McBiscuit, like, you're going to find some shit. And I would rather our listeners not find some of the, like my username on Apple Podcasts before I changed it was Eggy McBiscuit, and like so you could see like he likes listen to baseball podcasts and like
so
that all was
funny.
fine, but other things,
I don't even remember what brought it out that one time.
I think I was doing some research on that cult.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think I was doing some research on the cult. And the whole point of me making Eggy McBiscuit, because I didn't want these fucking nut jobs knowing who I am. That ship has sailed. Anybody that wants to...
The Eggonometer.
Well, that's what brought us to current day and the establishment of the Eggonometer.
This would be a good time to tell if there's any of the cultists listening of that specific cult that I am armed.
Be a good time to do it.
The Eggonometer was officially established in 2025.
Are you reading did you make a Wikipedia article?
No, but it is our scale that we've decided to use to determine degree of hauntedness, I guess.
You're replacing my haunted stamp.
I don't know if it's a degree of hauntedness or a degree of how scared we were.
That's what we
usually don't really get very scared.
No, just a couple times where I've actually been scared.
I think you're going to have to, I think the way that this, and I would defer to the man who this is named after to be the one to really come in here and do this. But I think you're going to have to use this as a degree of hauntedness.
I think we're going to have to put more than one factor into each thing. It's not just how scared we were, 'cause that's very subjective. What scares me might not scare you, and vice versa.
That's true. Yeah.
We can't do that. So it's got to not just be that. It's got to also the amount of evidence we caught has to play a role in it, right?
It can have multiple criteria points.
Because I've been out, at night in the woods and stuff and been scared.
I mean, really, Mars Hill would be an E10.
That's a good example. There's nothing,
and there's no evidence though that was really captured. Not very much.
Not a Sasquatch, but another kind of large, hairy, gross thing.
See, in this sort of a situation, like Mars Hill. See, if you're going to make that an E10, I would have made that an E1. I would have said that's an E1 because it's really
you
not
the one that walked up to the car with the crazy hillbilly.
I was behind you.
You say that like you were right behind me, but I'm going to tell you I remember that very clearly.
I was behind you. I was over your left shoulder.
I was about 95 feet away.
I just remember feeling incredibly alone in the moment and scared.
I was with you, Eggy.
Large, hairy, gross thing. Oh, shit, that's funny.
I think, though, that I would consider that maybe an E0. Even because there's no paranormal activity.
Yeah, I was fucking terrified.
So therefore, you can't necessarily. It can't be how scared we were.
All right, it's too subjective. That's a good example of it.
There's almost no evidence captured there that night, if any.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would have to say that's an E0.
I think we have to just discard that one because there's nothing real paranormal happening there. It was all very normal, I guess.
It wasn't normal at all.
Normal for our area.
Yeah, that's true.
If you pluck the random Joe out of New York City and put him in that situation,
that's paranormal.
It's fucking weird. You're out in the middle of nowhere. There's woods all around you, and there's a strange man who smells bad in a car
driving through a cemetery
with his friend blocking the exit. That's very terrifying.
Yeah, I'm just picturing, our evidence page here on the website has a little red box next to it that says E7.
Yes, we've got to do that.
I don't know,
but that would come down, like John said, really down to the founder of the scale doing some work.
And I've already got. I know what this also looks at too. We need to take Dustin's face. He's got a hat on and everything else except for his it's just his head, and it's more of an egg shaped now. It's now done that.
Just an egg with a beard and a hat on.
Yes, yeah. And it's the Eggonometer scale. I love this so much.
I've got all kinds of free time, so I'll go home tonight and start writing this up.
I was ready to go through each one of these and start stamping a number on them.
I was going to go into work tomorrow and get some stuff done, but I think I'll stay home and work on the egg scale.
Yeah, you're right. This is a ridiculous podcast because now it's all I can think about. I'm looking through here thinking, that's an E6.
Do you realize, though, how cool this is? Because what did I say? What you and I talked about earlier, making this podcast about for our Christmas podcast?
Well, you say you and I talked about it. Are you talking about Eggy's Nog?
Yes. And what we would do
Christmas?
For Eggy's Nog, it was going to be his own personal EVPs as ranked by him. That's what an Eggonometer really is.
It is true.
Yeah.
So we really truly have pivoted to the Eggy's Nog. We've really done it.
Remember before we started, whenever you had mentioned, Eggy's Nog, whatever the fuck that is, before we started this podcast, Dustin's like, now wait a minute, what am I supposed to do?
Yes. It's
going to be really interesting to watch because you can see the numbers and stuff on this. I can just imagine our subscriber count just going down.
It does at Christmas.
In all reality, our October coolness has cooled. So this time of year in particular, it's not that people don't have interest. It's just that the interest has the people who usually don't have interest.
Spooky season is done.
Yeah.
Now it's jolly, happy season.
Right. And we talked about this. I talked with Chris. I said, what we could do? I said we could do either Eggy's Nog, or we could come back in and we could do a revisit of the care center where Nick was at, and we could call it our St. Nick podcast. And that's exactly the way he reacted. That's exactly the way
Every
he
time you
reacted.
bring up the Nick thing, I honestly don't even remember what that is.
You don't remember Nick?
He said that before. I remember one time on the group text, you said something. It was about the weather, I think.
Yeah, it's because I always credit
You
any
said
sort of good
something-
weather that happens. I
you
always
said-
credit Nick.
You said something about Nick, and he texted me. He's like, "What the fuck is the Nick thing again?"
I don't remember.
I always credit Nick for saving the weather and doing things like that.
You know, as I think about it and as I look through here, now that you mentioned that, I don't know that we ever put.
You didn't put Nick and all that stuff on the website?
I don't think I ever did.
Because we really did catch a lot of stuff at Nick's place.
So I'm not the only one that's probably really fucking confused by that.
It was because of an investigation we did at
It was stealthily done.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Well, it was a skilled nursing facility that was closing.
Oh, but we couldn't say where.
And we still can't.
Right.
And it was closing, and it was empty.
Except for like one wing or something.
Except for one wing. There was residents there. So we were allowed to put our stuff in this empty wing.
We actually caught quite a bit of stuff in there for a place that's
I
empty.
do remember that now, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
There was one of those rooms that was pretty active, I think.
There was, and as I looked through here on the website, I never put it on there.
You never
was
put
this
it up.
during that time of year, or during that time when we were only putting stuff on the podcast?
No.
I don't know. I'll have to.
It'll be on this.
What we're talking about with the Nick thing is there was an EVP captured by employees.
Yeah, this is Nick and this is my place or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, it's that's what it sounds like it says. I mean, we can't be sure.
Oh, this is Nick. And this is my place.
But anyway, that's what we're referring to whenever we talk about it.
Yeah, I remember that.
We got all kinds of weird, shit that we refer to. These were employees of a skilled nursing facility that were in the room that was purported to be haunted. They were rolling audio or video, actually. This is a video. While they were in the room in case something happened, and they caught this EVP without even realizing it until they listened back later. And here it is. Here we go.
This shit's awesome, dude.
That was it right there.
Yeah.
What's said is up for debate. I'm going to go back to that spot, and then let me play that again. Here we go.
I'm Nick. This is my place.
I hear I'm never, but who knows? What's being said is less important than, like we said before, the fact that a third person said anything at all.
One of the things we speculated on it saying at one point, which is all just speculation because we have no idea what it says, but I think one of us brought up the idea that it said, "I'm never leaving this place."
Yeah.
Which is a very fucking creepy thing to hear.
It is, yes. I do hear, and maybe because we planted that seed is why I hear it, but I do hear I'm never something.
Yeah, well, I can also hear like maybe Nick, so I don't know.
I can tell you this much, though, having looked through, which I did, every admission that facility ever had, there was never anybody with that name. Nick, Nicholas, or anything like that.
Maybe they walked in.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you realize, though, now that we've done that, we have now done Eggy's Nog and St. Nick for this podcast?
We've covered them both. We covered them both.
I actually put that in there that we could combine them, mash them together for one super
You really
podcast.
did. What a podcast. What an episode.
It's great. It's really good stuff.
Investigation-wise, we have Erica and Kat's house we're going to go back to because she wants us to come back and see if we can get a name or something. We'll see what we can get. We never promise we can get a name or anything. We don't promise anything. We'll just come in and do what we can to get there. And then we're going to do Debbie's house. We can call it Debbie's house now that we know she is the former owner of the home in Willard, and she's wants us to come do a revisit. And it's going to be it's going to have been a long time since we've wet our beak in that pond. So we'll see how that goes too. We're going to get all that lined up here and get it going here soon. And if you need to get in touch with us, you can email us. You can do that through contact@mwghosthunters.com.
More Dark Matter next week from Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri with Midwest Ghost Hunters.